The information provided on the Forever Young Show by its host or sponsors is for educational and personal alternatives. Statements have not been established by the Food and Drug Administration. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Forever Young Radio Show with host Carrie Nosler, health journalist and fitness enthusiast, who is joined by health educator and executive producer Kelly Capasola.
But whatever road you choose, I'm right behind you, win or lose, forever young.
And now, Forever Young.
So glad you could join us today on the Forever Young Radio Show. If by chance you've just stumbled across our show on the dial, like people tend to do when they're out there in the radio world, just to let you know, our mission has always been the same here for the past 16 years on Forever Young, and that's to inform and educate every listener on healthier lifestyle options and good quality science-based information.
So if you'd like to learn more about the show, visit the website, foreveryoungradio.com. That's foreveryoungradio.com. While you go there, there are some past shows that you can listen to just in case you didn't get everything the first time you heard it. Read some great articles. All the time we're posting interesting things that have aspects that you need to know about your health. And then visit the weekly highlight page. You're going to get a play-by-play of everything we'll be discussing today. And while you're there, if you click on the little icon, you can like us on Facebook.
Yeah, we like talking to you on Facebook. We appreciate all of our followers, and thanks for liking us and especially sharing with us some of your comments. That weekly highlight page Carrie mentioned, man, scroll to the bottom of that page because there's discounts, giveaways, just for being an exclusive listener of Forever Young. Now, today we have a big topic we're going to be discussing. We're going to start the new year out right, and there's no way to start the new year out correct without taking a very good look at hormones. Hormones drive so much about what we do, how we feel, how we think, how we sleep, and during that aging process, those levels can really dip down to a level where you maybe not have those things that you need in life, like energy, a restful nice sleep, or just the motivation to do the things in every day that we are responsible for. So please tune in and continue to listen because Hugh Woodward is really going to teach us on the value and importance of DHEA.
Here's the president of Health to Go, the makers of Twist 25 DHEA Cream. He's a expert on DHEA, and he's been dedicating that pursuit in the last 10 years of his life to keep studying the medical research about it, and also, as a result, starting a company that researchers develops the safest, most effective DHEA supplement that can be made and distributing it as part of Health to Go. When he started Health to Go, it was to research and development, leading-edge anti-aging and wellness products, and to bring them to people conveniently and, most importantly, cost-effectively, which he's been able to do. Hugh Woodward, again, our special guest today on Forever Young. Hugh, welcome on behalf of Kelly and myself. Looking forward to talking to you and getting the new year started right.
So great to be back with you guys. It's always a pleasure.
You've taught us so much about DHEA, so much about hormones. I mean, we're going on like 6 years, Hugh, so we really appreciate the partnership that we have with you and looking forward to educating new listeners tuning in this week all about that value. And, you know, Carrie and I were talking a while back, and I think you and I have talked about it, Hugh, that it's pretty shocking to me when I'm doing an educational, some type of a seminar or I'm answering questions for our listeners, and I bring up DHEA, and to people, they have no idea what it is. And that is shocking to me considering what a major role DHEA plays in my body, your body, and all the bodies out there, especially when we're aging. So give the listeners a little background on exactly what does DHEA stand for, and what is it, Hugh?
Well, DHEA it's an acronym for dehydroepiandrosterone, which is a naturally occurring prohormone. It's the most abundant naturally occurring prohormone in the human body. And as such, it is a foundation for all of the estrogens and all of the androgens in the body. And so it's a large carbon chain molecule. In the cascade in the body of carbon chain molecules, the biggest is acetate. Below that is cholesterol. Below that is pregnenolone, and then hydroxypregnenolone. And below hydroxypregnenolone come DHEA or progesterone, and they are side by side in that cascade. And then below the DHEA, think of it as a kind of a tree, and below DHEA is estrogen, all of the estrogen family, estrone, estriol, estradiol, and testosterone is below that. So depending on which carbon chain the body removes from this molecule, DHEA, we get some 50 different hormones in the body. So it's very important for healthy hormone maintenance as we grow older. Importantly, we make DHEA from birth more and more each year as we grow into adulthood. And then from about the age of 25, we begin to make less and less of this important precursor hormone.
If the DHEA part of the cycle isn't completed, then you're in trouble because the rest of the chain isn't going to be expressed either.
Exactly. It's going to then cause us to have a deficiency in estrogenic hormones. For women are very important, and for men, the androgenic hormones in particular. But all of those are important. And what we like to say at Health to Go is use Twist 25 cream, make your own hormones. You know, it's a cascade. So if we maintain that foundation in the body after age 25, and we keep that decline from happening so precipitously, we can really actually maintain our hormone levels and thereby maintain much better health as we grow older.
Now, I've heard some pretty incredible claims for DHEA, but give us an idea of just exactly what DHEA is doing in the body. What responsibilities lie in its formation and expression?
DHEA is, as we said, a base for hormones, and hormones are the chemical messengers in the body that tell our bodies what to do, feel, how we act, our mood, our muscle tone, for instance, quality of sleep at night. It's been shown in medical research that when your DHEA levels are higher, your REM sleep is deeper. Well, REM sleep is that rapid eye movement sleep stage where we actually produce a lot of hormones and rejuvenate the body, sort of recharge at night when we're asleep. In that sense, it helps with our good solid sleep at night. As a result, people awaken in the morning, they do have healthier hormone levels, so their energy levels in general are improved. And then clarity of thought, cognition. There's been a lot of actually recent research done showing that DHEA actually helps neuronal cells, neurons, regenerate. And for a long time, it was thought that, once nerve cells go, they're gone forever. Well, that's not actually the case. We do create new ones, and it's important that you know that your DHEA level is a big driver in that. That for good cognition, maintaining DHEA levels is very important. And that goes for older adults as well. As we get older and older and our hormones continue to decline, in those years of 70, 80, 90 years old, a lot of people lose that visuospatial skill and energy and motivation, and they don't know why. Well, DHEA is a big driver in that.
And I was talking to a friend of mine. She's a neighbor, actually. She's 70, just turned 75, and I help her with her supplements. She comes over, Kelly, what do you think about this one? Should I be taking this? Here's my blood work. And we were talking, and I said, listen, do you take DHEA? Have you ever heard of DHEA? And she said, no, not at all. So I continued to educate her on it, talk to her about it. And when I said to her, it can decline after about age 25 by 2% per year, I saw her doing the math in her mind. And she's like, okay, 2% per year, I'm age 75, you do the math. She's like, do I even have any DHEA in my system? Are my levels dropped so much? And I think when you explain it to people like that, then they really start to get it. And then when you start to explain some of the issues that can arise when those hormones are out of balance, like you mentioned, the REM sleep, that's a big area, Hugh, because So many people are not getting enough sleep every single day, and it's adding to this downgrade of cascading effect of other health challenges. So I thought that was really interesting to share, because when you talk about 2% decrease per year starting at age 25, that can get out of control really quickly.
Well, that means that, exactly, by age 35, you do the math, you're making 20% less than you made when you were age 20 to 25, which is when you were in your prime, and I hold my fingers up in quotations there, that when you're in your prime is when you're feeling your best, you're most active, your mental skills are at their highest, your physical abilities are at their best. By age 50, you're making half as much as you made when you were 25. By age 70, like this friend of yours that you're talking about, many people are making 20 or even 10% of the DHEA that they made when they were 25 at that age. So supplementing DHEA properly is really, really important.
So then most of the things that we associate with aging, not sleeping as well, you don't think as well, your muscles aren't as strong as they were before, your strength is going down, all those things coincide with the decrease in DHEA as we're aging.
That's right. It's a big symphony. Our bodies are such a complex thing that it's really important to let your body do what it needs to. Each of us is different. And so when you provide DHEA using Twist 25 cream into the dermis, your body can then do with it what it needs to do with it and what it lacks. So, Carrie, when you use Twist 25 cream, it helps you in a way different from how it may help Kelly, who's obviously making more estrogenic hormones with it, and those differences are different from person to person. With DHEA, you're letting your body do what it needs more of, and then what you don't need, you simply excrete or pee out. So it's not going to hurt you in any way.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because people say, how much do I take enough? And we'll talk about that when we come back from break. I think essentially when we open up this discussion today is we want people to understand DHEA, we need it, and we're going to talk about how to get it, what's the best form of getting it, and how we can continue to add it, incorporate it into our lifestyle, depending what level that we're at. So we're going to talk a lot more about that with you today, Hugh. People can go over the break and learn more about it at DHEAcream.com. That's DHEAcream.com. Or you can go and check out our weekly highlight page. That weekly highlight page at foreveryoungradio.com gives you a play-by-play of everything we're covering with Hugh, everything we're covering throughout the morning, and links to all this great information that we're sharing with you. We'll be right back after the break to discuss more on healthy hormones with Hugh Woodward. We'll be right back.
And in my heart, you'll always stay forever young.
Regular exercise and staying healthy has repeatedly been proven to be the most important way to stay healthy. But let's face it, being an adult can be demanding and stressful. After age 35, it gets harder for people to muster up the motivation to keep the daily exercise going. Work, kids, combined with diminishing hormone levels, can leave us with low energy, lack of sleep, and a poor overall outlook. After age 30, DHEA levels start to decline, which is when many adults start to gain weight, lack energy, libido, and drive. Twist 25 DHEA cream puts exactly what the body makes naturally, bioidentical DHEA, in the skin, where the body processes it. As a base building block for hormones, DHEA gives the body the foundation it uses to make hormones, especially the good ones like androgens and estrogens, the feel-good hormones. So for a little advantage, use Twist 25 DHEA cream. Make your own hormones. 1-888-489-4782. That's 888-489-4782. Or visit twist25.com. 888-489-4782.
I get wings to fly. Oh, I'm alive.
Howdy, my friends. Welcome back to Forever Young. Terry Nosler here, Kelly Caposola, the team at Forever Young. And we're talking with Hugh Woodward about the importance of DHEA and the association with the decline in production of DHEA as we age and all the symptoms of aging that we would like to prevent, things that we talk about on Forever Young. So a very, very important foundational step here in terms of being able to maintain the vitality and energy that we want as the aging process goes along. And You were talking about some of the things, the challenges of getting older and how DHEA relates to that. But I was just wondering, obviously we're hearing a lot about the flu these days and colds this time of year as well. DHEA have any role to play in those two conditions?
Absolutely. Great question, because, there are a lot of people this year that have the flu, and it's pretty bad. There's studies showing that DHEA helps the body to not only make more what are called natural killer cells, NK cells, make more of them, but the activity of the natural killer cells is also greater when DHEA levels are higher. And so with those natural killer cells, in the science videos, they look like Pac-Man in the bloodstream, and under microscopic magnification, you see these entities that gobble up the bad guys, if you will. They eat the mutant cells or the viral cells or bacterial cells as well. Any invaders are basically destroyed by these natural killer cells. So to have your immune system at its best, you want to keep your DHEA levels up, because then that allows you to fight those infections much better, and it reduces your risks of cancer of all types, which is very, very important.
Yeah, and we talk about a lot of what people are dealing with, especially during the aging process. People, look, we'll get married, we'll have a family, we'll start to raise kids, we'll take life a little bit more seriously. We have a mortgage, we have all these different things on our back, and we don't know sometimes if it's just stress, and that's maybe why we're feeling lethargic, we're feeling tired. Maybe we get a little bit depressive, and then life evolves a little bit. We get into the swing of things, and many people at age 35 or 40 start to get these mood swings and just are in a bad mood or grumpy. And I think we've talked about it on the show before. It's kind of described as like a midlife onset depression in a way. And people go and they start talking to psychiatrists and different things like that, and then they are put on medications that maybe have side effects. And I think it, in a lot of ways, and correct me if I'm wrong, in some cases this could be because of these plummeting hormones, especially when we're talking about DHEA. So what do you think, Hugh? Can maintaining DHEA levels help someone maybe maintain healthy hormone levels to avoid these issues?
Yeah, you are spot on. It is actually well documented. If you look online, the number of people who are seeking some kind of help for what's known as depression, many adults think they're going into a depression situation where they need antidepressant medication, when in fact it's just a simple hormone decline that's happening to everyone. Some people experience it worse than others. But as we grow older, after age 35, before you go taking antidepressant medications that are by prescription only, try using Twist 25 DHEA cream and give your body back some of that foundation and base that you make hormones with, and lo and behold, you're in a better mood. You have more energy. You feel more like going to the gym and exercising. When you go to the gym and exercise, you feel better. You sleep better. Your health gets better. The next day you wake up, because it's kind of a cumulative effect, and people notice it does take about 2 to 3 weeks for people to really start to feel the benefits that it's having on the body. But you do feel it. I mean, you notice it. It's not just something where you've heard about this thing called, what have you, and you think, oh, well, it's doing me good. With Twist 25 DHEA cream, if you use it regularly every day for at least 2 or 3 weeks, you'll feel these benefits we're talking about. People will call and they're like, oh, my God, you've changed my life, or, stuff like that you just go, wow, that's great. But people start to feel energy again. They start to feel vital again. They start a better mood. Like you say, it's not always necessary to intervene with mood-enhancing drugs that are by prescription, and sometimes really get people off on a roller coaster that's this up and down that they can't control. Just put back the base that you make hormones with, and you'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I like the analogy to overall health in general. I mean, obviously, if you're doing all those kinds of things, there's serendipities, as you said. If your hormone levels are right, you feel more energy in the morning, you want to get out and you work harder, you might hopefully eat better. I mean, anyone who's ever had hypoglycemia knows that there's an obvious connection between the blood sugar and your mood. So it's just not a stretch at all to think that, well, if your hormones aren't in balance, that there's going to be some kind of repercussion, not only physically, but mentally as well.
Absolutely, Carrie. When you start to realize it's lots of little things that are combined that make us feel great. Like, for instance, with women, sex drive. It's not the same as in men. It's driven by lots of indicators in the body. One is, do they feel rested? Do they have good energy levels? Do they feel healthy? Because obviously, that instinct for sex is inside of us, and our bodies are telling us, yes, everything, check, check, check. The immune system's working right, blood flow's good. This is a good situation to become a parent. Well, that's what drives sex drive, and it's cognition as well. And then, so when you look at DHEA, you can be sure that checking all of those boxes yields it's a combined benefit that starts to happen. And day after day, month after month, year after year, if you continue to maintain healthy hormones, you're staving off so many diseases of aging. Everything from cardiovascular disease to these infections we were talking about where you get the colds or the flu, osteoporosis, same thing. Bone strength is improved by DHEA. Also, connective tissue formation. So what is the largest connective tissue of the body? The dermis, skin. We're applying DHEA on the skin, on thin, hairless skin, where it occurs naturally anyway, and it's sort of worked into the system it takes about 2 or 3 hours as a cream to absorb. It wears off completely after about 10 or 12 hours. So that's why we recommend you put it on once in the morning and once in the evening, and you rub it on thin, hairless skin. So squirt it on your inner arm there between your wrist and elbow, and then rub your arm on your side in a kind of a circular motion. And it absorbs within about 10 or 15 seconds, but you want to just rub until it all sinks in and absorbs.
Yeah, and it leaves your skin feeling really good, very clean, very hydrated. I've also put it on my face. I had another radio show host tell me that she puts it on her face. So I'm like, I'm going to try this out. And I do face masks. I try to take care of my skin. And I'll tell you, I did see a better hydration and some of those crow's feet diminish a little bit. And as an aging female, that's important to me. I want to keep my skin healthy. And I know guys are using it as well. So this is a product for both men and women. We're going to have to go out to a break. I know listeners maybe can't listen to the entire show, but today Health to Go and Forever Young have partnered up to offer you a super big discount for our listeners so you can get Twist 25 DHEA cream and start using it and applying it in your life. You can order online or by phone today. The website is DHEAcream.com. Again, that's DHEAcream.com. Or you can call 1-888-489-4782. Again, that's 888-489-4782. At checkout, just mention, you can type in FOREVER as the coupon code, like our show. FOREVER as the coupon code. And for a limited time, you're going to get 15% off the Twist 25 DHEA cream, and that'll be right away. And that's in addition to the quantity discounts that they already offer on the website. So it would be $15 off when you buy a 3-pack or $75 off when you buy a box of 12, and you still get 15% off. And all you have to do is mention that code FOREVER at time of checkout. Again, the phone number is 888-489-4782. Or you can check them out online at DHEAcream.com. If you couldn't write any of that information down, we went ahead and we put it on our weekly highlight page right there on the hub at foreveryoungradio.com. Now, when we come back, we're going to discuss more about DHEA, more about your health. But as listeners, please realize that you have 3 people right now telling you about DHEA, and all 3 of us are using DHEA. So there must be something there of why we need it. I hope that before the show ends, we're going to talk about cortisol levels. We're going to talk about the adrenals. We're going to talk about all aspects that are driving us to not have motivation and have a lack of life when it comes to living a life we should be so blessed to live with our family and loved ones. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after the break to talk more about healthy hormones.
Did you know by age 35, most people start to notice the effects of declining hormone levels? Symptoms include lack of energy, less focus, decreased sex drive, weight gain, and poor quality sleep. DHEA is a base building block for hormones that keeps us feeling healthy and alive. DHEA helps men and women 35 and up to maintain youthful vigor, enhance mood and focus, and sleep better at night. Twist 25 DHEA cream puts exactly what the body makes naturally, bioidentical DHEA, on the skin where DHEA occurs naturally and can be processed. And when you feel your best, you look your best. It's the little things we do each day that make the big things happen. Visit twist25.com to learn more and order online, or call 888-489-4782. That's 888-489-4782. Look your best, feel your best with Twist 25 DHEA cream. That's twist25.com.
Forever Young is brought to you by Twist 25 DHEA cream. Use the code FOREVER, all lowercase, to save 15% off. Call 1-888-489-4782 or online at twist25.com.
I get wings to fly. Oh, I'm alive.
Howdy, my friends. Welcome back to Forever Young. I'm Carrie Nosler, joined by Kelly Capasola and our special guest today, Hugh Woodward of Health to Go, and we're talking about DHEA cream, bioidentical cream, in terms of all the things that DHEA does in the body. Hugh, no one needs to be more aware of the fact that life is sometimes stressful, and stress can also bring about the production of cortisol. Cortisol obviously is there to protect us in the right amounts, but if it's continually expressed, we have a lot of problems associated with that. Tell me about the role of DHEA in helping to moderate the role that cortisol plays in the body.
Well, the DHEA is the only thing in the body that counterbalances cortisol. As we get older, whereas, with DHEA, as we were saying earlier, you make less and less DHEA every year. You make more and more cortisol every year. So as we get older, and like you say, we're exposed to a lot of stresses in life, and, I'm going to miss this, or I'm going to be late for that, or, I got to get the kids, or, we have all kinds of different things that cause stress in our lives. Well, cortisol is supposed to be a protective hormone that causes an inflammatory response. It's sort of a pad, if you will, and it can be fluid. So we retain more fluid when our cortisol levels are up, but we also feel very lethargic and begin to sort of feel tired and washed out. And in many journals, they talk about adrenal exhaustion or adrenal fatigue. What's really at work there is that the balance between DHEA and cortisol is off. We're making too much cortisol and not enough DHEA. And so we feel wiped out, just no energy, or some describe it as depressed. But what you want ideally is a DHEA to cortisol ratio of 10 to 1, 10 to DHEA and to 1 cortisol. And you can get lab tests done. Your doctor can do those for you or order those for you, or you can go to a lab and ask for your DHEA levels and your cortisol levels to be measured and see where you're at. But a DHEA to cortisol ratio of 10 to 1 is where we're at our best, when we're feeling good, when we've got good energy, and we feel right.
And it would make sense. You taught me a long time ago, keep my DHEA cream right next to my toothbrush. In many of the cases that I've read, cortisol levels can go higher in the morning. So if you're using your cream, your Twist 25 DHEA cream in the morning, and then, again in the evening. But one of the things that really interested me all those years ago in DHEA is something that I read in the Journal of the American Medical Association, and it had to do with DHEA and visceral fat. Tell us a little bit more about that, Hugh.
That was a study that was done by Dr. Villarreal and Dr. Halsey. It was at Washington University School of Medicine, I think. They did a study with DHEA and found that DHEA levels maintained would actually reduce the visceral and subcutaneous fat that we put on. In terms of using energy that we eat in the system, if we maintain our DHEA levels and use what they used in the study was 50 milligrams of DHEA per day for 6 months. If you use a squirt contains 25 milligrams of DHEA. So a squirt in the morning and a squirt in the evening, you're getting that 50 milligrams of supplementary DHEA each day. And then using that on a regular basis and doing that over 6 months and exercising and eating right, obviously that's important. People notice they firm up. They're losing that pad around their belly, and they're going to the gym and they're actually getting somewhere. They're seeing some results. Whereas a lot of people that are, midlife starts to go, you know what, I went to the gym and I'm just not feeling it anymore. I'm not getting anywhere. That's hormone driven. So
I want to bring up one point that, and I read this somewhere before, and it made sense to me. Some hormones like testosterone, which of course a lot of men are taking today, and some women too. But if you take it, the body stops its own production of testosterone. But as I understand it, that taking supplemental DHEA doesn't stop your body from producing whatever amount that you were producing before. It just doesn't have that kind of downstream suppression effect.
Yeah, that's true, Carrie. That's a really good point. DHEA is not addictive or habit-forming in any way. So if you use Twist 25 DHEA cream, you're not going to make less of your own DHEA. If you stopped using it, you'd go right back to making the level you were making before when you began. So it's not addictive or habit-forming, and it's very, very important for men to not start out supplementing with testosterone because, as you say, what they don't tell you about in those commercials you see on TV is that, once you start to use these testosterone supplements, you make less of your own. Therefore, men's testicles shrink, and they lose their ability to make their own if they're supplementing testosterone without the body says, okay, enough, and then so it actually harms men in that way. With DHEA, you give the testicles something to synthesize into testosterone, and so you're putting back the basic precursor and letting the body do the rest naturally.
Well, let's talk about a little bit more of the Twist 25 DHEA cream, which we've been talking on this show for, going on 6 years. I want people to understand this is a bioidentical. So you're not putting in anything foreign into the body. I think when it comes to hormones, we really need to look at that. So let's talk about the cream, Hugh, and really what's in it. Why is it so special? How long has it been working on and researched before you guys brought it to market? And I know you continually improve it as time goes on as well. So give us some background on that.
Long ago, when there was a HIPAA study which was done, and it came out with very bad reports on hormone replacement, that it could cause or increase risks of cancer. And what they didn't emphasize enough from those studies and findings was that what's important is that it be bioidentical hormones that you supplement, not hormones from either a beef or pork origin, which are not identical to what the human body makes. So with Twist 25 DHEA cream, it is a bioidentical DHEA, meaning the molecule is exactly the same as what your body makes naturally. So that's very important. DHEA is also the most abundant naturally occurring prohormone in the body. So you're not putting a foreign substance in your body. You're doing something that's there anyway, and it helps in many different ways. So, and our formulation of the cream is something that was begun in the 80s. My father was a bioidentical hormone replacement physician in Dallas at Medical City, and he developed the cream originally, and his patients just loved it. And many of his patients would come in with menopausal symptoms, and while their tests were being run, if they were having hot flashes, couldn't sleep at night, having issues with menopausal symptoms, he would start them out with DHEA cream. Yeah. And so that's how this all started. I started working with him in the 90s, and we began doing surveys and trying to figure out what the best way to make the cream was. And I started the company called Health to Go, and that's how all of this began. Yeah.
And what's great is that the things that are in it, you have CoQ10, vitamin E, coconut oil, all things that are really good for the body to help along the way of adding in with this addition of DHEA. So we love what you're doing, Hugh, over there. We know that you don't use soy, parabens, lectins. There's certain things that we want in there for ourselves, and then there's other things we don't. And I think that's what makes you so responsible as a company, is you're making sure we're getting the things that gives us a healthy body and gives us the benefits of increasing these DHEA levels. So it's really great. And listeners, again, don't forget, use the code FOREVER to save 15% off Twist 25 DHEA cream. You can give them a call at 888-489-4782. Again, that's 888-489-4782, or on the web at DHEAcream.com. Again, that's DHEAcream.com. That 15% off when you use the code FOREVER. But remember, you also get those quantity discounts. $15 off when you buy a 3-pack, $75 off when you buy a 12-pack. So let's do this. Let's get our hormones healthy for the new year, folks. This is something that we stand behind, Twist 25. It's been on this show 6 years. There's tons of information you can go and learn, and YouTube videos you could watch on that website, DHEAcream.com. We are out of time, Hugh. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Let's make it a happy, healthy 2018.
ForeverYoungRadio.com. We'll catch you next time. Be well out there.